So this is going to be a very short little video talking about feet. So some of you may know that I did some foot sort of seminars last year, and I just got so much out of it learning about the foot and the fact that we need to strengthen, and that bare feet is such good therapy for the feet, as it allows us to get out of those shoes that have arch support and lots of cushioning and back into nature, and strengthening through the arches of our feet, and learning that we do need to splay through the toes, because a lot of the time our shoes that we pop our feet into make our toes go a lot skinnier than what they should be, and then that also affects our balance, and it can affect so many more things in the body, like our knees and our hips and things like that. So this just will be a short little video explaining some tips that you can do to help to strengthen through the feet and also feel a lot better within your feet. So the first, obviously, what I'm going to explain is the use of massage balls or tennis balls underneath the foot. So you may have a tennis ball laying around, or if you have a massage ball, then that would be great too. So I really like these massage balls. A lot of people ask us where we got these from. Just from Rebel Sport. They have sort of like these little like balls on top of them, I guess you could say, within the ball. So just taking it underneath your foot or the tennis ball and going back and forth on the ball, and then going zigzagging from side to side, making your way up to the heel and then back out to the front of your foot, and doing those types of massage movements along each foot for 2 minutes can be really beneficial. I believe it's 2 minutes twice a day is just really good for the feet, sort of optimal. So you could do that when you wake up or in the evening. I know for myself it feels really wonderful to get out of bed and do these exercises underneath the foot. And also splaying through your toes and going side to side on the ball can be really wonderful as well, just getting that lovely stretch through the toes. And you'll also notice the difference if you do one foot and then just stand with both of your feet side by side. You can feel such a big difference from one foot to the other. So doing that 2 minutes twice a day is great, but if you can only manage once, then that's great too. So going on to our next point will be strengthening through the arches of our feet. So if you come along to Bow Body classes, then you'll probably have done this exercise before, called short foot, where we lift through the arch and we shorten the foot. So almost like we're doing sort of a bicep curl. We're doing that curl through the feet here. So we're trying to lift up through the arch and shorten through the foot, making sure that we're not just using the toes here. We're trying to bring the ball of the foot in closer towards the heel. So lifting and then lowering, lifting and lowering. You can do this in a seated position if you find it quite hard to do that, and then work your way up to standing with both feet at the same time, or you can go one and then the other. I find that for me, I like to do both feet at the same time. And then you can work your way up to finding more of a balance and doing it as well. So balancing on one foot, you may even like to come into a tree pose or just lift through the leg, even using those hip flexors here to lift up. So you're finding two benefits in one exercise. So lifting up and then trying to do that short foot within the opposite foot. So the foot that is down on the floor, we're just trying to lift through the arch and then lower. So you should start to feel the muscles here working along the arch of the foot rather than just through the toes. So if you can only feel the toes, then try to rethink lifting through the arch and then trying to think of drawing that heel in closer towards, the ball closer in towards the heel of the foot here. So lifting and then lowering, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. So for our next part of strengthening through the feet and finding some stretches and things, so we'll be talking about the toes. So what you can do with your toes is, I know for a lot of people they're a bit funny about touching their toes, but it'll be so good for you. You can also buy these things, if any of you have seen me wearing them, called toe spreaders. So they're like these silicone silicone plastic things that I put in between each toes and put in between my toes, and it helps to splay them out nice and wide, creating that lovely balance through the foot and allowing you to balance better. A lot of people, after they saw me wearing my toe spreaders, have actually told me that they've used their sort of nail polish things. You know how you put them in between your toes, so then you do nail polish. That I don't know, I don't have them, but a few people have told me that they've used those and they really worked. So that's a handy tip if you've got some of those laying around. Otherwise, just for a couple of minutes a day, you can be massaging through your feet, and you can be taking one finger in between the toes here, and then just also finding a little bit of a massage for yourself. So you may find that if your arch is quite weak, you may like to massage with sort of more of a twist, sending the little toe towards the more of the center of the foot. And then going over to the opposite foot. So just taking your fingers in between your toes and finding that lovely massage for yourself. Or you could just sit there with your fingers in between your toes, do some breathing and feeling that splaying of the toes. Also, to find a lovely stretch, you can come onto your hands and your knees and spreading the toes out wide and tucking them into the mat. You can go back and forth if that's enough for you, if that's enough of a stretch for you. Otherwise, you can send your hips back towards your heels and find that deep stretch. If that's too much but the other one was not enough, then you can lift through your hips and you'll still be applying a little bit more pressure than drifting back and forth, but you'll just be feeling that lovely stretch. And because we've stretched that way, then also stretching through the opposite way. So after you have done that stretch, you may even like to tap your toes out, then take the front of your foot into the mat, and then just find that stretch in the opposite direction. If you find it's too hard to do this while sitting down, then you can just stand back up and find that stretch in the opposite direction. But I hope those tips were really wonderful for you and really help to strengthen through your feet and find a little bit more comfort within your feet as well. Thank you.